I showed my last Bish Battle submission to a producer friend of mine, and they were like, that's pretty cool. What if you try to do it in a hardstyle with a hardstyle kick? I am up in the mountains right now, and I do have Wi-Fi access, but in limited ways, so Splice is sort of off the table right now, which I think actually means Serum's off the table as well. So today I did my best to try and make a hardstyle kick from scratch for the first time. To give people frame of reference, if you didn't hear my last beat battle submission, this is what the back half, kind of what the drop sounded like. I liked that. I was pretty proud of it. I think that on iTunes, for some reason, it comes out kind of quiet. This is what it sounds like now. You know, I mean, for first try, not bad at all. The basics of what's going on here is we took the original kick that we had and we just chopped it down to where it's just the sub frequencies, and then we made a kind of topper that is just the top frequencies here. This is just a basic sine wave with a little bit of the upper partials added into it for a little bit more oomph to it. It is got this envelope pitching it down very, very quickly, and has a little bit of a filter on it, has a little bit of distortion, a little bit of an EQ again to kind of like maximize getting rid of those lower frequencies. And then we added a channel EQ, a distortion, a wave shaper, this is doing a lot of work here, just kind of crushing it down using the stuff we learned yesterday. Another EQ, a transient shaper, another EQ to kind of bring out some actual tonality to it because it was just kind of so flat. A gain, another wave shaper, and all those combine to give us this sound over here. Kind of obnoxious. We bounced that, and then we added an exciter and a bit crusher and a transient shaper to that, which gave us this, which is not great, but you put it with the sub. You know, honestly, not too bad. And then from there, I retouched up the stereo out here because I now had more information, more knowledge on how wave shapers worked. And I was a little surprised when I played this through that, like, even with the input down like this, there was still there's still some gain reduction happening here, and I don't know why. That didn't like track with what we saw in our tests yesterday of this plugin, especially with the input turned down and with our kind of we were telling it, hey, if sound's coming in at -8 decibels here, output it at 0. So I guess I just still bring it up. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just got around it by putting a second one on here, and this one doesn't really have much gain reduction happening, so I don't know. I bet that actually doesn't help anything, and I'm just being silly. Still learning on those things. We adjusted a few of the mix things as well from there to try and we put a few more a little like shaper boxes in a sidechain mode. Carve some pockets out of things, and generally are still just learning about mixing, but we're getting closer to having better understandings here. And you know, I like this in hardstyle. I do think this actually works better as hardstyle, because in my ear I didn't want to hear a kick or a snare, which is the one thing I think Bishu said in the like after it played. I think I interpreted him saying it just needed a snare chat as that was the reason he didn't give it a red. But going back and listening to it with the style of kick I had, it did sound like it needed a snare. So this doesn't sound like it needs a snare. What it does sound like it needs is a lot of help with everything sitting well. Right now, this is just barely kind of peeking its head out through the mix, and if I pull it up in the mix, it's just everything's way too loud. So definitely need some help on that. But yep, that's all we have time for today. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.